Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the latest episode of Hell on Wheels, Any Sum Within Reason. So, this kind of was back on track, kind of getting more in tune with what's going on with Bohannon and everything at his side of the railroad. So, it started off showing kind of the origin of Chang to a degree. So, it shows him getting his wife, pretty much using her as the head prostitute, and coming over. He had been in the failed rebellion. He evidently did something with this certain general guy, like making their own company and everything with all that, and coming over to America and everything to kind of set up their own trade. It was kind of wasn't too clear because it it didn't go too much into the rebellion portion, but it kind of did enough to set up what was going on with Chang is a representative of this company. They were pretty much part of the rebellion in China that failed, and they pretty much peddle in prostitution and that kind of stuff. So Chang was using his bride as a prostitute. He pretty much destroyed one of her feet to make sure she wouldn't run away again after she stabbed him in the back. And then it sets up for kind of how Chang deals as a business person. So we get to first see him negotiating with the head of the Central Pacific, he's, the head of the Central Pacific is definitely interested in Chinese culture and kind of what he can get from it and kind of export using the railroad system. But Chang wants a piece of it. He wants to be actively involved in it. He wants to become pretty much a legitimate businessman to a degree. And, of course, the head of the Central Pacific is like, "You're a whoremonger, man. No one's going to take you seriously." And that, you can kind of see that pissing him off. And he's like, "I'm a chef and all that. I can do all this stuff. I'm an astute businessman. Let me have my place at the table." So then it kind of comes back to Bohannon and May and kind of their whole situation. And of course, they've seen the dress and all that stuff that his wife has been wearing, and he's like, "Oh God, Chang knows." And at first he tries to buy May to kind of set her free, and Chang's like, "No, I want the stake in the railroad." And of course Bohannon offered him $40,000, pretty much what she would have done as a prostitute. And he's like, "Nope." All the bad blood pretty much kind of comes to a head with this. And Bohannon, of course, gets the services of Stagecoach Mary and pretty much tries to get May as far away from there as possible so they can't call any assistance for Chang's company and try and get her. So she's going off and doing that kind of stuff. And, of course, Stagecoach Mary had betrayed them. And Chang's men try and come and collect her, and she makes her way off into another town. So Bohannon then gets the call from Telegraph, of course. It's like, oh shit. Goes on the way out there, and right before he gets there, Chang and his men show up, and pretty much you can tell now that there's other different companies as well, because this is another pretty much exclusive Chinese kind of mining operation. And they're like, "Screw you." Then we got to see Chang do a lot of good action, and there's a reason he is in the position he is. He's an astute businessman, but he knows how to deal with problems when they arise. So he's like beating the shit out of these people. And I mean, he gets cut, but he's like walking around town with a gun and everything. And May takes refuge in this bar. And she's pretty much got him dead to rights. And he's like, "If you shoot me, they're still going to come kill me." So that's when Bohannon walks in. And Chang thinks, here we go. We're good and all, everything. And then Bohannon just shoots him in the head. And it's like, it was shocking. I didn't think that it would go, that would be the end of Chang. I thought there would be like, him still at the end. I didn't know where they were going to be going with him, but I was pretty surprised that Bohannon just like took him out and then went and pretty much systematically took out the rest of his men throughout town. Even though his legs banged up, he still whooped ass, still has the shooting skills that he needs to survive in this world. And of course, like, "Alright, man, I love you." And of course, she'd been saying that to him, and after it was done, they get back into town, and he's like, "They're still going to send people after me." they know you killed Chang and everything. And the general came in, and Bohannon as a badass, pretty much, alright, you can do what you need to. I don't know what went on with Chang and all that, but here, you can do what you need to, send your new representatives and all that, and just go on your way. And they're like, he was just a pimp. And they just walk on out and like, oh god. And of course the head's like, you didn't kill him, did you? And walked out. So it's like, listen, he's the best foreman you've got, best engineer you've got. He gets problems solved. Gotta let him do what he needs to do. So then they tried to make Chang's bride leave and kind of go to this kind of religious kind of monastery slash nunnery that's over in China, because I think it's more of a nunnery, and that they take more women because she was telling her to go there, but I don't know what kind of population. It wasn't really clear when she was talking about it, but then instead she took that and she left Bohannon. And it was kind of weird. I know you need to tie up loose ends because the series is wrapping up, but I don't know what sense it made for her to completely go back to China. I thought that would be a worse place to go, even though you're hiding in plain sight, that they would most likely come and get you eventually. That's just me. And, like, after Bohannon would be done with the railroad, they could have went, like, east or whatnot, where it would be harder for them to get to them eventually, you know what I mean? They'd have to make all their kind of stops and everything on the railroad and do all that stuff and expand their network. But that's kind of where they did it, and of course it fits more with Bohannon's style with what's been going on. He's put the railroad above everything else, and because of that, because of his dogmatic way of trying to complete that, he's lost pretty much everything else around him. Lily, Naomi, now May. So, those are my thoughts on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.